What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Nerdy Volume Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about Netflix's Arcane 2. So sit back, relax, and don't forget to turn it to 11. All right, y'all. Today we're going to be talking about Arcane 2 starring Ella Purnell and Hailey Steinfeld, just to name a few of the voice actors in this second season of Arcane on Netflix.
Finally.
For real. I feel it's almost like how long Stranger Things has been going. It's been taking a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm mad about that. One of the shows that did finish was Umbrella Academy, which I feel shouldn't have finished there, but it did. It did. But anyway, yeah.
I've never watched it.
You never watched Umbrella Academy?
I think I've watched maybe like a couple episodes here and there, but I've never watched the show in its entirety.
Interesting. It's a good show.
I don't know why I can't get into it.
It's not a good ending, though. So you're not missing much.
So it's Game of Thrones.
Not as bad. No, not as near. No. Woo.
Not as bad.
Game of Thrones is an epic story that ended very bad. But with Arcane, we're not talking about Umbrella Academy, but yeah, Umbrella Academy, it was more of a, is that it?
I get it.
And so with Arcane 2, I hope I'm saying this the proper way. Arcane?
Arcane,
It's not Arcane or Arcane.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Arcane.
I don't know.
I think you're saying it right.
Is that, yeah, because I don't know the origin of the word, but Arcane 2, it comes out with the continuation from season one where you have Jinx and Vi, and you see that their anger makes Jinx attack the top side. And it's crazy because she essentially just bombs the area. It's almost like how the Winter Soldier did to T'Challa's dad in Civil War.
Yeah.
Right? And it's essentially the same thing. And to see that was wild because I've never really played League of Legends like as often as most people in the world do because it's a big game.
Sure is.
Even I've heard of some of the guys that have a whole team that they perform. Mm-hmm. There's a guy, I believe, out of China or maybe Taiwan. He is known to be the best in the world. You know what I mean? And so when you think about it, I try to look up his gameplay and try to see if there's any lore. But Arcane is its only kind, I believe, right now that is open to the public. Well, not open to the public, open to the mainstream public. Because I'm pretty sure there's probably books and like magazines, kind of similar to what we do with our War Machine and Hordes. Yeah. You know how they have like the little booklets that come with your armies? Similar to that. I believe there's stuff like that. I haven't found any yet.
I know there are like YouTube clips, like little short stories of League of Legends
that are canon.
I mean, they're made by Riot, so
then it's got to be.
So yeah.
It's gotta
be. I would say it's canon. Whether or not it's canon anymore compared to Arcane is a whole different story. But it's like little short clips here and there, and then they were always pretty good. And I remember watching those clips and going, man, this would be a dope movie or show. Mm-hmm. And like, because I used to play League, sucked at it, horrible. Just the worst League player ever. And I played, I think, the hardest position. And I could be wrong, but I feel that jungling was the hardest position to play. And I played it badly. But either that or mid were my two positions that I would play. But yeah, I would watch those things. I'm like, man, this would be a dope show if they made this into like a movie or a show or something. So it was really cool to see, I don't know, 5-7 years later, they're like Arcane season 1 comes out, and I'm just like, whoa, this is dope. And seeing all the characters, right? You see all the characters that you kind of like were playing with, like Vi, Jinx or Echo. Echo was one of the coolest characters.
Echo is dude. He's such a cool.
And they made him cool in the show too.
I know
his character is fire.
Cool, dude. He had a cool it looked like an hourglass on his face.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
And I was like, who's this guy? I was like, I didn't see him in the game. Like, I've seen Jinx's character often. Actually, like, I've seen a lot of girls cosplay as her, And so I'm just all like, who is that? And then when I saw in the show I'm pretty sure we went over the first season, and I absolutely hated Powder. Okay, don't get it twisted. I don't hate Jinx. I don't like Powder. Granted, she was a kid. Granted, however, she was reckless and stayed reckless. And then I didn't understand the relationship between Vander and Silco. I guess they were always and have always been tight, no matter their viewpoint.
I think they were brothers.
Were they brothers? I thought they were just not downside.
Like his homies.
I thought they were like longtime homies. What is the area that they're called? What is their? Because Topside is where Jace is from,
right?
And Victor.
Yeah,
they're from Topside. What is theirs?
They're the. Oh my gosh!
It's escaping me right now. It's not bottom side.
It's something like that.
Piltover. Is that what it's called?
Oh my gosh.
Jeez. Well, whatever the case is, I didn't understand that. I thought Silco wanted to, how would you say, just take over all of, that their area and essentially propel them to similar to the Topside. And I thought Topside were just a bunch of oppressors, and then you slowly understand that there was like whatever was going on before Arcane and the Hex tech and all that other, what was that other, Shimmer?
So Piltover is the Topside.
Oh, Piltover is the Topside.
Yeah, I don't know how to, Zion?
Zaun?
Zaun.
Zon. Yeah.
Zon is the low side.
Okay.
Right? And then Nox or Noxus, Noxus.
That's a different country, right?
Is a brutal expansional empire that potentially future settings in the series.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so Zon is the name of where Zon is the lower city.
Noxon is where Ambessa's from, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because like out of all the, I guess, the more warmonger characters, I loved Ambessa.
She was dope.
She was cool.
And you love to hate her. Mm-hmm. But she like when she was fighting her daughter
Kaylin
mm-hmm. in the last episode, that was such a fire fight.
It was.
Still like she was just taking them. Mm-hmm. And also like when Caitlyn was like sniping at her and she just like mm-hmm. blocking them, I was like, yo, this woman is like, you should just turn around and just run.
Yeah, exactly.
She was
dangerous.
She was awesome. I loved her character, and I hated her character because you're just like, she's such a dope character, but she was just such a big antagonist. Mm-hmm. Always trying to. I don't even know what she was trying to do.
Oh yeah, she was trying. I believe she was trying to make it so that she could have Hex Tech. She wanted Hex Tech.
Right. She wanted Hex Tech.
And she wanted to use it for war and military use,
but to go back to her own country.
To bring it back to her country, and to, I believe, to try to bring back her son.
Right.
Yeah,
who unfortunately was dead. Mm-hmm. Sadly,
he was. Yeah, and there were some cool characters this season. But going back to how we're getting into this in this second season. You see Jinx, Vi, they don't like each other right now. Vi decides to suit up in blue to take down her sister. And, you see Jinx is like offended. She's like, how dare you wear the colors that killed our parents? And I'm like, whoa, yeah, I would have never worn that. I would have worn maybe just the badge or something like that. You know what I mean? Or maybe worn like a different color, like all white or something like that. Something that doesn't necessarily mean, oh yeah, I'm those types of cops now, or those types of enforcers now. And so it kind of like takes away a little bit from the Vi that's trying to take care of her sister to the Vi who grew up to be who she is today. And I'm just like, man, Jinx this season made it seem like she all of a sudden understood where everyone stands, like their beliefs. She understood where their loyalty ends, or where their loyalty sits, why it sits there, and she exploits it. However, she was already having her own crisis of her own, because she was like fighting with her identity as Powder, Vi's sister, Jinx, who was Silco's daughter, and she's just going through all of these motions, which actually this season was a great Jinx season.
It was great, yeah.
And what was really cool was when Echo went to a different universe.
Because everywhere has to have an alternate universe.
Always. Look what you done, Marvel. It's all your fault, bro.
Yeah.
But you see that we meet Powder as the same age as Jinx is. So an older Powder. She is held back because Vi is gone in her universe.
Yeah.
And which is weird because Vi is also gone in the main universe, or I guess Universe Prime. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, how did she turn out to be someone that has to protect everybody else? But I was like, isn't she aren't they the same person? It kind of reminds me of What If, you know? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But I really did enjoy that Powder.
Yeah, but Vi in the alternate universe died at a young age, not at an old age. She died when they were kids.
Yeah, but Vi left when they were kids.
Yeah, but she was still around. One thing is leaving and hating them for leaving.
And the other one is dying.
And one is dying. I mean, you can't help that, right?
And Vander was still alive too, right?
Yeah, Vander was definitely still alive.
Yeah. And she didn't kill anybody either. Like that was another part of her that kind of twisted her mind, which was she killed 2 of her best friends and got Vander killed. Yeah, that's all her fault. However, I didn't know that she was just kind of genius. I thought she was just a little girl that like was going to be an engineer in the future, right? Which should have pointed me towards genius, maybe.
Who?
Powder.
Oh, yeah.
In the original storyline. But anyway, you do see Echo, like, he goes in hot against these people. You know, like, he doesn't like Powder, who he's like, Jinx? And she's like, huh? You know, she, like, had no idea who he's talking about.
Yeah.
And then you have the 2 friends that are there.
Right.
You know, and then you have Vander and Silco chilling. And that's where you know that they've always been friends. But I think that one of the funniest parts of that part where Echo goes into that multiverse is when the professor
Hammendinger,
yeah, and Echo touches turns on the machine and he goes back a minute or a second, and then he goes back. I think 5 or 6 seconds, maybe 4 seconds.
Yeah, passes 4 seconds,
and then the professor blows up, and then he goes, "Whoa!" Goes back. And then he's like, what happened? 4 seconds is the limit. Are you sure? He's like, yes. He's
How
like,
do you know?
What are the implications? He's like, and then you just see his nose just wiggle, and I'm just dying. I laughed so hard at that part. It didn't make any sense.
Well, he also has like fur. Echo has all this fur on him.
Oh, yeah.
That belongs to Hammendinger, the professor, right?
I forgot about that part.
And he's like, how do you know? And he's just like, 4 seconds is the limit. I was dying. But talking about him, because I'm like, did I miss something, or is my wife just tripping? He died. Yeah? When he connected the 2 cables together.
Yeah, he's gone. Poof. Yes.
He's dead.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was very sad about that.
I was very sad too.
His character, I enjoyed his character so much. Even from like season 1 all the way to now, the professor's character was just like, he was just like that one, like the foundation. You know, everybody can lean on him. And he was just like, yeah, he was already in the alternate universe for 1,000-something days, I think he said.
Yeah.
Right? So he's been there for years. and he's like, yeah, I just been waiting for you. Learning how to play the whatever that guitar instrument thingy was. Mm-hmm. Just been chilling. He's so go with the flow kind of guy, which is interesting because when you think of a professor, sometimes they're kooky, but they're not so go with the flow. Mm-hmm. He kind of actually reminds me a little bit of the Doc from Back to the Future. It's that same feel, like he's just like kooky and he's like, oh, things happen, mm-hmm. We can't help it. But him dying, although I'm pretty sure he's dead. My wife keeps saying that he's not dead. He just teleported. I'm like, teleported where? The teleportation was inside of where Echo was, not where the cables were.
Yeah.
I thought so. That him dying made me super sad. The other person who died that made me super duper sad was the little girl that hung around Jinx.
Yeah.
That last scene where she just like looks at Jinx and goes, Choo.
Yeah,
and then pulls the gun over her head and shoots what's his name? Vander.
Well, he's Vander, but
right, Vanderwolf,
the monster. Yeah, Vanderwolf. Yeah,
yeah. I'm like, oh, and for no reason, because Vander still didn't die.
He didn't. No, he was still there.
He was still he started like regenerating. I'm like, that girl died for nothing. How unfortunate.
dude. But she was a cool character. She didn't talk much, did she?
She didn't talk at all.
Okay, that's
I think
what
she was
thought.
mute.
She was mute. Yeah, 'cause she wasn't deaf. That's for sure.
No.
And it's funny when she interacts with Vi.
Yeah.
Because Jinx obviously like looks up to Vi, no matter how estranged they are. And the little girl is like, I don't like this girl.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, I hate her. And then she's like, oh, she's your sister. Oh, like things are difficult now, which I did like that part of the relationship between the little girl and Vi.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good character developments in this show. My favorite one was the Jason Victor.
That's also sad.
Oh my gosh. And the Jason Victor duo, or their character development as friends, was so strong for me. And it was awesome. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Like in the beginning when Jace came back, he's like, I'm not going to fail. I was just like, this dude because he killed somebody. Oh yeah, he killed that young kid. Remember?
Yeah.
When he just killed him. I was just like,
oh, when
he got back to the main time.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
And he goes and kills that young kid it's all good. Victor said you would be here, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, Jace makes it all the way to Victor's place. And who is it that was it Chase that messed up all the villagers?
Yeah, when he killed Victor. Or when he shot Victor.
That's right, he shot Victor. Yeah,
He shot him with the hammer thingy.
Yeah.
And I guess his body died, right? Mm-hmm. Because Victor technically didn't die. Because he's beyond.
Yeah, he's beyond human understanding.
The material world. He's like now a conscience, right? Yeah. But yeah, he killed him, and then that caused all of the other people to like also die, I guess, or become unconscious. I don't know what the word would be. That whole scene was very confusing to me because you look at Victor and you're like, oh, he's such a good guy, you know, because he's trying to help people, he's healing them and whatever. And then here comes Jace from being wherever the heck he was, which we see, which is I don't know if it's here's a good question. Was he A, in the future, or B, in an alternate universe of his own?
Oh, in the beginning, we don't know.
When he's because he's in that one world where everything is desolated. Yeah. Right? And all that exists are those robot mannequin creatures that are creepy as all heck. But that world is what was going to happen in the main world, the prime world, if Victor succeeded at whatever his plans were. Yeah. Right? So, I guess, was he all the way in the future and he saw what happened and then got brought back to the past?
Yes. That's definitely what happened.
You think that's what it is? And it wasn't an alternate universe.
It was not an alternate. It's a possible universe.
Right.
In a way, yes, but I don't know.
Yes to both.
Yeah, it all depends on what Victor saw it as, because at the end, Victor says, I had succeeded in my goal to make everyone think to think as one. Yeah. To not be."
Remove strifes and whatnot.
Yeah. Just like basic human desire. Took it away. Yeah. Kind of like Equilibrium, the movie. And you see that he was wrong, but you don't see who's in the hood. You know what I mean?
At first. Yeah. Until the very end. And you realize it's Victor who realized what he did was wrong. Yeah.
And the only person to convince him
was Jace.
Yeah.
By the way, Victor had the most hardest lines of all time. Like, he would say some profound things, and I'm like, bro, I don't know who your writer is, but that is something wonderful. Yeah. One of my favorite sayings that he said was, I think it was after Jace put the hex core inside of him, and he mutated, and you know, because he thought he was died, and he came back. Like, the line I was just like, ooh, that's a good line. Was we strive so hard to do great that we forgot to do good. And I'm like, damn, that was good. I don't know who that was such a good line. I was like, I need to write that down for somewhere.
Yeah. There was another line, and I thought I wrote it down somewhere, but he's like, sometimes our greatest good is the cause of our greatest evil. Yeah. Something like that. I'm like, you're right. Because his good was everybody should be one. It'll be good. There's no wars. People won't go hungry. You know, people won't get sick. You know, we will all work together. But it was futile, apparently. And I'm like, that's weird that it didn't work. But apparently it didn't.
He had another one about perfection. It was like, to reach perfection is to remove...
was it doubt?
to remove some. No, I wish I remember the line, but he has some great lines, and I'm like, did he just? I don't know who wrote his parts, but man, good job, because his lines were just so good. And like I said, my favorite one was, in the pursuit of doing great, we forgot to do good, and I was just like, yo, that line is so nice. I like it. I do agree. I liked their chemistry was super. Their like relationship was super confusing, because it's like love and hate at the same time. From at least from Jace's perspective, right? He loved Victor because that's his pal, that's his homie. You know, they wanted to do great things together. But now the person he's become is not anymore Victor, and that you can see that internal struggle that Jace had to constantly be fighting with. Like, I have to kill you because what you're doing is going to end the world and it hurts me because that means my friend is going to die. You know, so he had to come to that conclusion. I thought that was great. And then of course, what you were saying. You know, the only person who could ever change Victor's mind is Jace, and it did happen, right? At the very end, Victor finally sees that what they're trying to do is wrong, and I'm guessing both of them also died because they got sucked into the little, and then you don't see anything about them.
Wait, no, Chase lives.
Does he?
Yes, Chase lives. Victor.
They both get sucked into the little hole, the little hexacore thingy.
Huh.
Like, you know how everything was frozen and they were in that moment where Jace is trying to show Victor what he's doing is wrong, and he finally realizes it.
Oh yeah, when Victor touches his face.
Yeah. And then it goes back to reality and time continues again. And in that, Jace gets sucked into that little ball thing again. And you don't see him again. I'm assuming he's dead.
He's probably dead then. I would assume.
And they died together because, I'm assuming they're both dead because for the simple reason that Jace said, no, we're doing this together, right? I'm not leaving you this time. So I'm guessing he also died with them. But I mean, a lot of people died and it's super sad. One person we don't know, because what did Jinx do at the end of her?
Jinx is one that we don't know if she's dead.
Right.
She fell off.
Oh yeah, she fell down with Vanderwolf.
Yeah, with Vanderwolf in Wakanda armor.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he looked cool in that one.
No, he his character. That when he came back all like, yeah, that was pretty dope.
And by the way, when he woke up to fight Vi, I'm like, really?
Oh, when they were laying on the thingy?
Yeah,
and the thing was gonna fall?
up. Yeah, he was just knocked out, and he wakes up, and I'm like, are you serious? I was like, I guess we don't understand what this wolf character is. And there's actually a name for him, for Vanderwolf. I just don't know the name. I saw it, but it's like escaping me right now. But whatever the case is, I guess we didn't understand his or the beast's power, because I thought everybody was knocked out, like all the robots or the previous followers that became robots at the end.
Yeah,
I thought he was like them. But he was not. He was just a beast in their armor.
And being controlled by Victor. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought when everybody was like, I guess when they would get touched by the robots or the followers, you see everybody's eyes glow, and then everybody just kind of just like start lifting up like they did at Victor's place.
Yeah.
And I just thought of the Avatar when Aang takes away people's bendings and they're like, oh. Like, yeah. And I think that that was really cool. Like the animation this time, flawless,
beautiful.
My goodness, that fight, the one that you were talking about earlier with Ambessa, Caitlyn, and the daughter. I forgot the daughter's name. Was it Mel?
Yes, I
think it was Mel.
Yeah,
yeah. And Mel had cool armor on. She was like gold and stuff, and I was like,
her contrast is just so striking, like the gold and black or gold and brown, right? It's just like, wow, you look so dope. Yep. That gold looks so good on you. And then the mom also had she had the gold the gold mask on, and her outfits were dope too, like the red, black, and gold. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was like, yo,
another reason why
these color schemes are wonderful. They're so good. Yeah, this show had beautiful like I would compare Arcane's art design or whatever you want to call it to that of, and I know you probably disagree because I'm pretty sure if I remember well, you didn't really like it as much, but I would compare it to Spider-Verse.
Yeah, Spider-Verse, yeah.
Right? They did have that beautiful art to them. I'm not saying that they're similar. They're not, but that they think out of the box when it comes to their art, and they just make something else out of it, and it just feels good. It feels nice, right? And like even those scenes with Victor and Jace in the arterial world, right? Yeah, it was like the whole galaxy looking of them, and only their faces were really like anything you could really tell. I was like, man, this looks so dope. The fingerprints that were on the people, like, because it almost looked like is it Opid? Is that the gem called Opid? Like it's kind of white with rainbowish hues in it. I think it's Opid.
I think so.
Right, that like there's those fingerprints that were on the people who were following Victor. I was like, man, that looks so good. Like everything about this show is just well done. I'm so happy,
dude. There was one character that died. That was so sad. He got by a bunch of arrows too.
Oh, I know.
My goodness,
yo, that was rough.
He reminded me of Vander a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm all like, is that Vander? No, who's that? I think his name was Bruin or something. Bruin. Or
the big soldier dude, right?
Yeah.
The one that went in the neck. Yeah. That's what gets him at the end.
And I'm like, oh.
I know. When he died, I was so sad.
I was so sad, bro.
You know who I was happy about when that person died? The blonde chick that betrayed Caitlyn.
Oh wait, she blonde? I thought she was redhead.
Nah, she was blonde. With the short hair.
Yeah,
that was sleeping with her later.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm like, they put the bomb on the big Victor ball thing that he was supposed to be inside of, and you see a nail is inside of that bomb, so it stops it from blowing up. And I'm sitting there looking at that, and I'm like, what the heck? Who put that in there? And then I started like, wait, where the hell's the blonde chick? I don't see her. It's like, you piece of
yeah. And you know, her hooking up with Caitlyn actually makes a little more sense now that I'm thinking about it, because she was all about Vi. Remember when they first meet? She met Vi before or not met Vi, but she got to meet Vi because Vi was with the big guy.
Yeah.
Laying down. He was drunk and she was just laying down next to him. And then she's like, oh, you know, Commander Caitlyn talks about you all the time. Captain Caitlyn talks about you all the time. This and that. She's very excited. And then I see her in bed with Caitlyn. I'm like, so she was always, I was like, she was trying to holler at either the captain or Vi, which is the funniest part because they're the most, or I guess they're the leads of that group, which would be, I guess, Caitlyn's group.
Yeah.
Or is it Vi's? It's definitely Caitlyn's group.
Yeah, it's definitely Caitlyn's
she's the
group.
police officer.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And, okay, so the relationship between Caitlyn and Vi was very irritating.
I agree.
Very irritating. Because I'm like, Caitlyn was going in, she was actually lost going into the new power after her mom passes away. And then another Zon attack happens during the memorial.
Yeah.
I was just like, you know, and Vi's over here is like, you know, it's Jinx, it's not everybody down there, because there was a plot by one of the nobles there to just get rid of Zon altogether. And at first they wanted to use Hex Tech, and Jay's is like, nah, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Even though death was definitely a part of that. Like, the mom died, Caitlyn's mom died, a couple of the other noble guys died. I forgot their names only because they died in the first season, and I did not go back to the first season. I should, maybe, I don't know. Well, whatever the case is, I'm just all like, how is Vi going to convince Caitlyn, who just lost her mom, and now at this memorial for said mom?
Yeah.
And it gets defiled by, by people that's also bound by revenge. And then you see that it was because of Mbessa that even happened.
All of it.
I was just like,
all of it. This woman was behind every single scheme that was happening. I was like, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. When I saw that, I'm like, how did I not see Mbessa being the mastermind behind all of the bad things that were happening, right? Pushing the upper city into this direction, right? Because she wanted them to use the hex. Yeah. And I was like, man, this woman is conniving. I hate her, but she's so cool.
And she's super cool. And then she started using the shimmer, right? That's the runes on top of her arm.
Oh, that
was a shimmer, yeah.
No.
Yeah, because that's what the guy was using. The doctor, Victor's teacher. Remember the guy with the mask, and he was like trying to save his daughter.
Yeah. I'm mad that he's still alive.
Yeah, he is the guy that works with Shimmer.
Right, but Shimmer is the drug.
Yeah, and it was, and then he made runes out of it, right? The runes that were on top of.
I must have missed that.
Because that wasn't Hextech.
No, that wasn't Hextech. I didn't think it was Shimmer either. Because I must have missed that.
Yeah,
I must have missed that.
I thought it was Shimmer-induced runes.
I thought it was a specific thing that belonged to the big guy, the bodyguard of Hendesa.
Mbessa, yeah.
Yeah, Mbessa.
Oh, that guy.
Because those were his.
He was so strong, bro.
Yo, that guy was crazy.
It didn't even make any sense. I was just like, what do you need Hextech
He was a dope
for?
character, too.
Yeah.
He was a dope character, too. I was just like, yo, this guy is insane. I don't think just them two together could take over the world, right? But he was just like, that is level of loyalty right there. He was just loyal to Mbessa the entire way through. What he said, what did he tell Caitlin's like, what, I forgot what her position was.
Caitlin?
No, Mbessa's position. What he would call her. But he's like, Mbessa is going to be very disappointed in you.
I think she was a duchess, but I'm not sure.
But man, I was just those two characters were cool. I don't know if the green runes things were Shimmer. I just knew Shimmer was a drug.
I thought it was,
and I thought Shimmer was purple. So that's why for me it's hard to see it being the green thingies. But it might be. Yeah, and that scientist dude, the I forgot his name, but the one that created Shimmer and who was trying to save his daughter. I mean, I understand you're trying to save your daughter, but you're a horrible person. You're actually the worst person on the planet.
Yeah.
All you did was just like constantly like, first of all, you introduced this super addictive drug to the entire Zon, right? And now have all these people who are addicted to it. And then, you're causing all this mayhem on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't a good guy.
He was a horrible guy.
And
I was sad that he lived.
Yeah. Well, he did save his daughter.
Victor saved his daughter, right?
Victor's research did, yes.
Because she looked like which is interesting because she looked like a mannequin.
She did. And I wonder if that's her character look, like, in League of Legends.
Uh-huh.
And also, I figured out what they were called. It's not Shimmer. It was Wild Runes.
Oh, that's what those things
were.
Okay.
That's what Jace and Echo was talking about.
Oh.
Because when Chase went to the past or the future, Echo went to an alternate future.
Oh, right before they got sucked into the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where the professor and Echo went to the same place and Chase went somewhere else. I was just like, how convenient. How convenient that Chase didn't go. I was just saying, if Chase didn't go there, they would. You know what? He probably did go there in a one timeline. Only because you remember where he's like, I'm not going to fail before he was sent back to his regular time. There was a figure with a hammer that was on the ground,
right?
And his whole thing was just kind of like gone because of the whatever it is that Victor unleashes. So that was him.
Yeah, that was Jace.
And so that means that he's already been he lived through that. Does that mean that the past of that Jace, did he go to the timeline that Echo went to in the first time?
Not necessarily.
Because we don't know yet. That's the one thing that's really cool to think about. Because I was just like, so did Chase actually go to the alternate universe where Chinks was powder with Echo once? And then when he went back, Victor succeeded and he failed. You know what I mean? Because I was like, what happened in that timeline, that future? It was a possible future, remember? Yeah. We didn't necessarily know how that future came to be. So that's why I'm like a little confused. I'm just like, is this where you want to go with it?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that Jace was the same Jace. I don't think he went to the same. I don't think he went to the alternate universe with the other two. I think he was shot to the future, to their future, in where he failed to stop Victor, for whatever reason, right? Which is always the interesting thing about when it comes to timelines is like, well, if you go to the future and you see and you succeed, does that future even exist anymore? And if it doesn't exist anymore, then how are you able to go to the future? It's too difficult to try to comprehend. All right, so here's a question for you. Okay, we don't know if Jinx is dead.
We do,
right?
We don't.
Now, at the very end of all of it, the show ends with a flying ship boat thingy flying into or like traveling through the ocean, and then it just ends the show there. I have no idea what that is. I was like, what in the world? This is random.
Right.
Because it literally, what was the last thing? It was the scene before that is Vi and Kaylin, and they're sitting, they're just sitting there by the fire, and then the next scene is that ship just going shoo, and then it just goes black, right, and so I'm just like, what? That was weird. So I looked it up. Now the theory is that ship is where Jinx is, and that she's not dead, right? And the reason is it refers back to season 1, which I'm like, that was like 4 years ago. Season 1, when she was a little girl, she wanted to get on one of those ships and travel the world, right? So the idea or the theory is that it is Jinx because she's finally doing what she's always wanted to, right? And leaving her past behind. I would like to believe that's true.
Did Echo go there?
No, I don't think so.
Because alternate Powder and Echo did not see that at all. But then again, it's a different universe,
right? I don't think he did this is the reason, because he burned a little piece of paper. When everybody was doing the memorial, on the bridge, and they were like burning the little papers because they represent people who died. Everybody who died. He burned one too, and the only person I could think him burning one for is Jinx.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think he thinks Jinx is dead.
Oh, well, yeah, but then we don't know the time frame between that and that ship going off.
True. I don't disagree with you there, but I don't think the timeline is that far, and I don't think Jinx would bring Echo, because Jinx is just trying to separate herself from the world, right? She thinks she's a curse.
And it's funny because she doesn't watch any anime, because if she did, there are people that have curses like hers, well, actually real curses like hers, and save the world. There's a Tenchi Muyo one. There's also the Captain Taylor, the anime. That is a funny anime. He has the worst luck, but he always seems to win.
I mean, so does Jinx.
I don't know.
She saved the world in the end.
In the end? To get there? Nah.
Yeah. No, a lot of bad things had to happen.
Yeah, I was just like, some people died. Died, transformed. I thought that was really nice that Vander was still there, because that was the bridge that connected Vi and Jinx. And that was nice.
Oh, my last thing that I think I'm going to talk about is, you mentioned this earlier. The whole dad situation was super confusing to me, because they would call Vander dad, and they would also call what's his name? Silco dad. They were
only always Jinx would call him dad.
Right. Well, that's because Vi hated Silco because of what he became. Right. But growing up, they would call him dad. They both of them dad. They had their real dad on top of it. Yeah. So they were just like community dads, I guess. And it wasn't until you start seeing that in the episode where they flash back and where the mom is like, "Oh, I'm gonna have a daughter. You better both be there to take care of her." And I'm like, "Oh, now it makes sense." Because I was like, how are you calling both of these people dad? I don't understand. I'm so confused.
And she had purple hair.
Yeah.
Which was funny because Vi red, Jinx has blue. Yeah. I was like, that's cool.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even connect those two things until you just mentioned it now. That's so funny.
And I also thought it was funny that Vander, right, starts with a V and then Vi with VI because of the Roman numerals. But I'm like, nah, it might be a bit much. Because I was just like, why is 4 on Vi's face?
Right. Fair. That's a fair reason to ask that question.
Yeah, no. Because I was like, is Vander 5? But and I forgot that in the first season, Vander called the kids ankle biters. Yeah. And I thought that was the funniest thing to call kids that you care for but are annoying. Like, oh, you ankle biters. That's what they call them. Well, we talked a lot about the good stuff and some of the things that we're concerned about and confused about. But do we have anything that we didn't like? I have a couple, or maybe one.
Do I have anything I don't like? I think there was a little point in there. I do have a few, actually, now that I think about it. Oh. One, and they're not even that big deal. I think maybe it was just me not following the story.
Like preference?
Yeah. Like the storyline got a little confusing to me, right?
Absolutely.
Especially with the whole Victor situation and the hex core or the hex tech. I was like, what are we fighting over right now? Like it was very confusing. It became super abstract that if you're not really paying attention well enough, that it was kind of like the whole hex tech arc at the end kind of came at a left field a little bit, right? Because you had the whole the upper city and lower city fighting situation. Understandable. Rich people oppressing poor people, and there's this hatred towards them, and a revolt of it. That's understandable. But the Hectech was such a side story that became the main story so quickly that I was like, where are we going? That's why when Jace came back from the past or from the future, right? I was just like, are you a bad guy? Are you insane? Like, what's wrong with you? Are you the bad guy?
Yeah.
Right? And you're kind of like, it kind of unfolds like, no, he's the good guy. And you kind of see why he kind of goes crazy. I mean, he was like,
yeah.
I just like spit all over the mic. My bad. You kind of understand why he became crazy. He was living who knows how long was he living in the future by himself for, right? I mean, he broke his leg. He was in a cave and all this stuff. So that kind of like solidified things. But if you weren't paying attention, it got really confusing really quick. That's my first complaint. And it's not even that big of a complaint because it was still great. Mm-hmm. My second complaint is Vi. I think Vi, you made a good point with Vi. Vi, golly, that woman cannot figure out who she wanted to side with. Understandable, because on one side is her sister, on the other side is the person she loves, and it's like, who do I lean on? Who do I go to? Right? But like 1 second she's all for the lower city, and the next second she's fighting against them, and then she's back to fighting them, and then she's back to being a police officer, and then she becomes a drunk who just can't do anything right. I'm just like, girl, I'm getting whiplash just watching you.
Yeah. I was like, why is it so irritating right now? I'm just like, but I get it. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, she had real struggles. Mm-hmm. But I thought her character, like, especially her relationship with Caitlyn, I was just like, make up your mind. Mm-hmm. Like, do or don't. I don't care, but pick one. Right?
I was trying to understand her struggle when she went to the underground rings to start fighting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, she's knocking out dudes 3 times her size. I was like, she's got it. I was just like, what is she packing behind those punches? Because I was like, theoretically, physics, the physics doesn't make any sense. I was just like, you got this dude that looks probably like 200, 300 pounds, 6'4", and she's decking him one single punch. Bam. And then I'm like, how? And then later on in that montage, she starts losing a ton.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are these all the same fights? You know, because it's like, she same fought people? Like 30 times. Whatever the case is, I just thought it was wild that she's able to do this without her gauntlets.
Yeah,
but then it makes sense because she is a main character of the series. So
I mean, she's still. I enjoyed her character in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
but
she's strong, bro.
Yeah. Her relationship with Caitlyn and with Jinx. I was just like, girl, you gotta pick something. Like, just stick to it.
You know, there was no love triangle there between the blonde and the 2 girls, Vi and
thank goodness.
You know,
because the blonde chick was horrible.
She was terrible, but I'm
glad she got shot in the head.
She was
with her own bullet.
She was. She was always working for Ambessa the whole time.
Yeah. Well, as far as we know, yeah.
And Ambessa was like, you don't involve your lovers in your warfare, was it? I forget what it was. But she like because she knew that Caitlyn and Vi had a thing, and she's like, you don't want to do that. You know, she's your enemy. You know, you don't want to sleep with the enemy, essentially.
Yeah.
And Ambessa basically did that to Caitlyn. I'm like, come on. But because we didn't know about the betrayal, it would have been nice to see like some kind of reaction because, you know, she's no longer with Vi. But then again, that happened after. Oh man! And then the whole thing of adding Jinx and Caitlyn to the same plan when they were at Victor's place. You remember how like Caitlyn's like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was just like, for me to see that, I was just, how do you make your lover work with her mother's killer? You know what I mean? And then I guess at one time, not Caitlyn, Jinx, she goes, I didn't know your mom was there. I mean, it doesn't change the fact that I did it. It wouldn't change the fact that I would have known to warn you or something, but she was like, I was gonna do it anyway. You know, it was like she was just like, it was inevitable.
I think definitely what she was saying there was like, first she was saying, I didn't know your mom was there. I think what she was trying to tell Caitlin's like, what I did wasn't personal.
Yeah.
I did what I did because of the anger I had towards the upper city, right? Mm-hmm. Not because you're who you are, that's your mom or whatever the case. She's like, either way, I would have shot it.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, that's way better.
But I wasn't doing it because she's your mom. It wasn't a personal attack. I think that's what she was trying to say there.
Yeah. No. Oh, so aside from the love triangle thing and the relationships, one of the things that I didn't like about the show is one thing that I realized that I just absolutely just didn't get is Mel and her whole side arc. She had her own episode, and we understand that Mbessa had a lover who wasn't Mel's dad. And Kino is her brother, right? And then apparently they had a third sibling who is like this, what is it? This third sibling that was like a curse almost. And she was going to kill Mbessa in the end, but Mel's like, nah. And so you see Mel get this super power because she's like a mage similar to the sister. And she is weak. And so she needed to fight her mom with Caitlyn. And I'm like, what was that upgrade for? I was like, what's going on? I was like, I didn't get it, didn't understand why Mel was that much weaker, even though she had a upgrade. I'm like, come on, dude. And then it was sad about her brother not being her brother. It was actually her sister.
Right, yes.
And I'm all like, so it was for love. And that's how come it made sense where Mbessa was telling Caitlyn not to sleep with the enemy or sleep with the people that you're working with because of things could go wrong.
Yeah.
You see that it made sense now because Mbessa's mistake was the daughter and she was trying to hide it. And Kino died because of it. And Mel found out. And I'm like, okay, so there's that family drama that's there. But it was such a small issue. But it happened with such big characters like Mbessa and Mel. And nothing really showed. I was just like, and then the big guy, her right-hand man.
Yeah.
When he died, I was like, is he the lover? No, I don't think so. But I'm all like, why is she so mad? You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't get this. I don't care for this story. So I wouldn't say I wouldn't like it. I didn't care for Mel's story, which would have been better if she had some kind of cool power. Like, I don't know. She didn't do much. Caitlyn, though, she got a good shot. I would say she's no Usopp. That's all I gotta say. She's no Usopp. But she got a good shot. But yeah, no. That was probably my least
I don't know,
favorite.
man. When she was when they were attacking the upper city, what was it? The first time? That big guy was coming, and she was just like boom. She shot the guy in the same spot like 4 times in the glass. That was pretty impressive.
That's pretty good. Not gonna lie. No.
But then again, I haven't finished One Piece to see how much of a sharpshooter Usopp is in comparison. But
well, you could base it off of his dad, Yasop.
I haven't even met him.
You watched the live action, right?
The live action?
The live action One Piece.
Yes.
Yeah, he's in there. Yasop. He's the guy that shot the pan, and then the pan shot the other pan to the guy's not forehead but shoulder.
Oh.
Yeah, dude, that's how good he is. He doesn't need to shoot you. Yeah.
He doesn't need to shoot you. He just needs to shoot something else and now bounce a few times and hit you.
He doesn't. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Yasop, I believe, is similar to Usopp, or Usopp will be similar to his father, and that's how I base off because like Usopp is just a regular sniper, but
yeah.
Caitlyn missed. Caitlyn missed somebody. I forget who it was. She missed. I think it was the Beast, maybe.
I don't know.
She missed somebody, and I was like, oh.
Usopp wouldn't have done that.
Usopp would not have done that. He would have ran away. Didn't miss though. Anyway, yeah. Mel's story was probably my least favorite of the series. Yeah.
Interesting. Do you think they're gonna make a season 3?
If they do, it won't be with revolving those characters. It'll probably be like another set of characters.
There are a bunch of characters. They could honestly make Arcane like a whole thing because there are like bunch of characters that weren't even mentioned in the story. Personally, one of my favorite characters of League of Legends is Jax. I don't know why, but he's just a character that I enjoy. I was hoping to see him, never did. It was very sad.
I think he'll probably be brought up. I think there's going to be other Arcane.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and if they do, like, if your Jinx theory comes true, then I could see her revitalizing the story, going further. It would be nice to have like more seasons, but from different characters.
That would be different different locations.
It'd be so cool.
That would be pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, if we were to give a grade for this show,
I give it an A.
You give it an A?
I give it an A. I would watch this again.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you on that one.
It was good.
It was a great. The visuals was nice. You brought up that it was like the Spider-Verse into the Spider-Verse. I do agree to a point. However, there was when they went to Gwen's world, I absolutely despised that.
I know. I don't know why.
That watercolor.
That was one of my favorite scenes. Was the watercolor feel of her universe.
Oh man.
I just thought it was interesting how everything changed depending on the mood.
I think it's because I personally don't like watercolor in real life.
Oh.
Because after a certain while, there's always a stain that goes around certain parts that
bothers you?
Dude, yes.
That's funny. That's part of watercolor.
I mean, well, no, but like, I'm talking about the one that overbleeds.
Yeah, no, I get
too
it.
Much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I stop it. Yeah, I stopped doing that watercolor stuff.
That's so funny.
But I don't mind watercolor mixing in with like pastels or acrylic.
Sure.
Or oil.
Yeah.
And because when you mix those in, it's because it's texture, different texture. Oh, sorry, got a call there.
But it was good. I liked it. It was beautifully made. Great job to Riot and the team, the creators of the Arcane series. I thought they did a fantastic job. Your story was great for the most part. Like I said, there was a part in there that I felt like I was like, "What in the world? Did I miss something? Am I tripping right now? Did I miss an episode because I don't understand what's happening right now?" But other than that, I thought it was great. I loved every second of it. It was just beautifully done.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's going to wrap up this episode. Follow us on IG, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and TikTok. You can catch all of our video content here on YouTube. Please leave a review as it will help the podcast grow. Join our community on Discord, and thank you so much for joining in. And don't forget to turn it to 11.